Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the second ever Q&A Wednesday. This is the thing that I do every Wednesday where you guys ask me questions and I answer them, typically in a longer form sort of fashion. So it's not like I'm running down a list of a bunch of different questions. I'm going to answer one and I'm going to answer it with a lot of detail. That's the point. And then I've added in, I am going to answer a couple more at the end, quick style, because you guys are asking me some questions that just, the answer's not long enough, but I still want to answer your questions. So if you have any questions for next week's Q&A Wednesday, be sure to leave that in the comments below, and I'll take a look at them. I read every comment, so I will definitely see it, and maybe your question will be on the next episode. But let's get started. Today, our question comes from Sakri Miyano. I probably just butchered that. They said, it'd be interesting to hear how you met everyone on the crew, past and present. Also, how you get through those long road trips. Lots of music, card games, etc. So this one is probably going to be a long topic. We'll see, though. Who knows? Maybe I won't have as much to say as I think. But as far as getting through the long road trips, it's tough. We don't really play card games. We do listen to a lot of music, but the music gets repetitive. You get tired of it after a while. Just kind of want to turn it off. I do most of the driving, especially in my car. The other people that drive are Nate. He drives in his car. Chris will drive. And Drew. Dakota drives a little bit here and there. I think that's all the people that normally drive. Xavier? No. Well, yeah, he switches off with Chris sometimes. So, but I do a lot of the driving, so I know how that is. Your butt starts to hurt, and you don't like it. It's not super fun, but it's a grind. You got to get through it. The way we get through it is we talk a lot. We always try to have somebody up in the passenger seat. Whoever is in the passenger seat is supposed to stay awake to keep the driver up. But sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Sometimes they fall asleep. But my thing is, if the passenger seat person falls asleep, I'll let him sleep until I feel like I'm about to die, like fall asleep. And I'll shake him awake and be like, look, I'm sorry, you got to stay awake. Or you got to drive. We got to switch or something. So we don't really do anything too special. We just kind of talk and pass the time like that. Listen to music. Getting into how I met everybody on the crew. They want to know past and present. So I'm going to bring up a couple of people in here that some of you might not know because you are new to the channel and haven't ventured back to watch the old vlogs yet. But, hey, I'm going to talk about them anyway because some people have been here for a long time and they might want to know, even though those people aren't in the videos anymore, how I met them. So we're going to start with the oldest friendship in the crew. And I don't know if you can really say it's the oldest friendship because it's kind of cheating. And that's Chris. He's my brother, my younger brother, so that one's really quick, really obvious. Actually, I say all the time that without him, I probably wouldn't be doing convention reviews. So if you see him at a con, you should come up and thank him if you're a fan of the channel and be like, thanks, man, you rock. Without you, there would be none of what Cody does, and that would stink. And he'll be like, okay. So that's how I met Chris. He was born. Dakota is my second oldest friend. Well, my real oldest friend, if we don't count Chris because he's my brother. Dakota, I met in first grade, I believe. I think it was first grade. Could have been, no, I don't think it was kindergarten. Pretty sure it was first grade. We were in the same class, and we kind of grew up together for a long time, through like 5th grade, I think. And in 6th grade, Dakota went to another school, and he came back in middle school, because our 6th grade was an intermediate school. So he came back when we were in middle school, and we didn't really talk that much. We talked a little bit, and then in my sophomore year of high school, we ended up having the same class together. We had internet applications together, and that's where we sort of rekindled a friendship, and that's kind of like we started doing videos for another channel that I did, which maybe I'll talk about sometimes if you guys want to know like my history with YouTube. Because it runs a lot deeper than just convention reviews, which some of you probably don't know. A lot of you probably don't know that. But we started doing videos for another channel, and that's just how we rekindled the friendship, and it's just been going ever since. So next up is Nate, and how I met Nate is actually through Dakota. He is the one that introduced me to Nate. He he met Nate when he was in another school, when he went to that other school that I was talking about. When he came back, he was like, and we started hanging out again after a while. He was like, hey man, I got this other friend that I met that I'd like you to meet. His name is Nate, and he's pretty cool. So I met Nate, and we hung out for a little bit, and then I didn't really get to know Nate until much, well, maybe not much later, but a bit later. And if you guys want a story really quick, it's actually, I'm a big fan of Linkin Park. They're my favorite band. I mean, still to this day, I still think they do awesome stuff. But that's another thing. I'm not going to get into that. So Nate had gotten free tickets to a Linkin Park concert. And he asked Dakota to go. And Dakota was like, oh, I'm going to be busy. I can't go. And he was like, but ask Cody. Because that's his favorite band. And so he did, and I went. And I think that's where me and Nate really became, like, better friends. Not that we weren't already friends, but I think just going and doing that together, we didn't really hang out that much, just me and Nate. And that was like one of the first times that we really did. And I think that was very important to our friendship, and that we're much better friends because of it. So it was an awesome time. So thanks, Nate, if you're watching this. Thanks for taking me to Linkin Park. Oh, Drew. The Drooby Dooby Doo, as they call him. I met Drew through work at Kroger. It was my first real job when I was fresh out of high school. I didn't have a job all through high school. I was one of those lucky kids. And I met Drew. I was a bagger at Kroger. And so I was really high up there. And I just, bagged groceries, and then I have to push carts and just kind of do all the crap work that nobody else wants to do. They just make the bag boy do it. Like, it's a really crappy job. But, if you're a bagger right there out there, stick through it. It's going to be okay. You'll make it. But Drew was a cashier, so I always bagged for Drew, and I don't remember the exact moment that I met Drew, but I have a lot of memories of bagging for Drew while he was cashiering. We were like the dream team. We would go out there and get it done. Customers loved us. They'd always talk to us, and we had a great time. And I actually got Drew into anime, along with like most of the other people in the crew. Or a lot of them, like Dakota and Nate at least. Actually, I think that's about it. I got all of them into anime. And with Drew, he might not like me saying this, but he might disagree with me. But he was, like, really preppy and just very different than I was. I've always been nerdy, and I've always just been a nerdy kid. But he says that we would have probably hung out in high school. I don't know if I believe that we would have hung out in high school. I might not have liked him. I don't think he would have liked me. Well, he might have liked me, but I really don't think I would have liked him. I was easily annoyed with people like that. I was less accepting. But so I'm glad we met when we did, and I got him into the whole, anime world. Took him to his first con, Matsuri Con, 2013, which I actually quit that job at Kroger because of that con, because we had been telling them for like months that we were going to this con, told them the days. They said it's fine, we can have it off. I get back. They didn't give it to us off because we didn't get our schedule until it was too late for us to check. Didn't get it off, and they were just like, oh, well, since I missed 2 days that I was supposed to work, I had 2 write-ups, and I was close to being fired, got in all these fights with them, and just eventually ended up quitting. Thank God. Best decision I ever made. I don't want to promote quitting your job, but if you're working at Kroger, especially as a bagger, they don't care about you. And if you think they do, you're wrong. So, sorry. I'm glad I quit. Next up is Taylor, which some of you guys might not know. Taylor's from my first year doing convention reviews, and he did actually go to Con Alt Elite 2014, which is a little old now, but he would probably still be in the vlogs. I would have to assume that he would still be in the vlogs and still be going to cons with us. But he actually went into the military, so that's why you guys don't ever see him anymore. But Taylor's a really cool guy. I met Taylor through training parkour and free running, which I used to train parkour. Trained it for 3 years. That's where I met a lot of people, and Taylor was one of them. I met Taylor in high school, but I didn't really know him. I talked to him a little bit. He probably thought I was some weird kid. It wouldn't surprise me. I thought he was kind of a weird kid. But then we really got to know each other training parkour. We trained all the time, and then I got him to go to cons eventually, which wasn't that hard. He went to my, 4th con, I think, so it wasn't that hard to do, and he loved it, and I guarantee he'd still be going. I guarantee you'll probably see him again. don't count Taylor out. I bet you you'll see him again in the future. I don't know when and I don't know where, but I'll let you know when I do. So if you don't know Taylor, you should really go back and watch those old vlogs. It's a different world, and yeah. Next up is Xavier or Shaq, King of All Sports. Almost forgot that he calls himself that for a second. But Xavier, I also met through parkour. Okay, that's not true. I met Xavier in high school and through my brother Chris. They knew each other a little bit, and through some other friends. I got a friend named Mason. He was friends with Xavier and just some other people. We knew the same people, and we hung out a little bit, though we didn't really hang out alone ever. And I saw him at like a lot of birthday parties and just all over the place. I would see Xavier, but we didn't really become like friends, or we were acquaintances. We didn't really become friends until parkour, which again, like me and Xavier, we trained parkour a lot together, and we still do. We actually got back into it, just like within the last month. We've gotten back into training parkour, and you're probably gonna hear more about it. I'm not gonna try and be annoying with it, but I definitely won't be. But yeah, we definitely got back into parkour, and I remember having tons of sessions training with Xavier and Taylor together. The three of us, we trained together a lot, and it was good times. Like, definitely. And without parkour, I probably wouldn't be bringing Xavier to cons anymore. We probably wouldn't have ever gotten close enough for me to ask him to go to a con. So, yeah, I definitely feel like I'm still getting closer to Xavier. I'm still getting to know Xavier more. Our friendship is growing through cons, so I'm glad he's going, and he seems like he wants to go to a lot more, so that's really cool. He's funny. You guys seem to like him. A lot of people always comment about how much they love Xavier, so I'm glad he's going. I'm glad we trained parkour together. This next one is actually still pretty new to the group and still pretty new in actually our lives, normal lives. That's Shelby. I met Shelby at work years ago, like back in the beginning of Convention Reviews when it was less than 100 subscribers. I met Shelby at work, at my job now. It was the job I got after Kroger. Dakota also works there. And we met Shelby, and we got to know her and became friends with her. We knew she was already into anime, but she was just a work friend, you know, like how Drew was just a work friend for years until, because I had worked at Kroger for years until we went to that con, and then I quit. And that's exactly how Shelby was, and eventually we just were like, hey, you want to go to Youmacon? And so she went, Youmacon 2015, that was her first con with us. Actually, I think her first con in general. And so now she seems to be all over it. She says that she's got like con fever. I don't remember what she calls it, but something like that, where she's addicted now. She's got to go to all the cons, got to go to more. So expect to see a lot more of Shelby. You know, I don't know how long that'll last. She's going to graduate soon, so who knows what she's going to do with her life after that. But until then, expect to see more Shelby. And while you're getting to know her, we're kind of getting to know her a little bit too, because she's still so new to the group outside of work, which is a different world, really. So it's very exciting. The last person I need to talk about is Katie. I'm sure a lot of you know who Katie is. Some of you probably don't. I've more than doubled my subscribers since the last time she was in a video. So Katie, the only reason I'm talking about her is because they want to know about past members, and Katie is definitely an important past member, and it would almost be unfair to not talk about her when doing this video. Katie was in she was in every video, every vlog, up until Momocon. That was the first one where it ended, and Katie's not been seen since, almost without warning. Basically what happened, me and Katie, we met through parkour again. Everything leads back to parkour, guys. You're going to figure that out when you start talking to me. Even the channel's existence leads back to parkour, which is a whole nother story. I say that it's Chris's fault that it exists, and it is, but it's also parkour's. That's a whole nother story that maybe I'll tell sometime if you guys want to hear it. But so we met through parkour. We both trained, got to know each other, started dating, we started living together, all of that stuff. So she started eventually coming to cons with me. I had only been to 2 before she went. So she went to my 3rd con, which was Anime Crossroads 2012, which was her first con. And then, I mean, that's just how it goes. She just started going to every con. We broke up for a little bit in there early 2014. So she disappears out of the videos a tiny bit. I can't remember what con she wasn't at with us. She didn't go to one con with us in there. But then she came back. We weren't dating, but we were hanging out with her, and she was in the vlogs again. And then we started dating again. So she was a big part of the vlogs again. And now we're broken up. And this time, I mean, I don't want to say for sure because you never know with the world, but it's like, it's pretty for sure. You know, we're not going to date again. I would be shocked. It would be shocking. But I just want to say you never know because you never know with the world. But probably not. But the chances of seeing her in a vlog again, I don't think it's impossible. I think we could rekindle a friendship someday and she could be in vlogs. If we're at the same con, you know, we probably wouldn't be going together. But, you know, if we met up with her at a con. So it's not impossible. You guys might see her again. I know I'm not really talked about this. Some people asked me about it. But this gets into a whole other story with dating and just, you guys are kind of along for the ride with me. I mean, sometimes girls come and go, and I haven't really dated since then. So you guys haven't been introduced to a new girlfriend position within the cons, within the vlogs. So, I mean, that'll happen eventually. You know, I don't know when, but it'll happen eventually. And if we break up, you know, then you gotta get used to that girl disappearing and someone else coming in eventually. I mean, that's just how it is. And it really does suck if you guys get attached to her. But, I mean, I get attached to him, too. Everybody gets attached to him. So it's really interesting that you guys kind of follow along on that journey with me. But, yeah, that's pretty much everybody in the crew that I think's worth talking about. No offense to anybody that I missed and didn't talk about. They're probably just really small people in the crew who don't go to very many cons, and so I don't think they're really worth talking about. This is the main cast, new and old. And to end this off, I said I'm going to do quick fire questions, so I'm only going to be answering from one person, Shop Imvu, because they ask multiple questions. Sometimes I might do more than one person. They ask, do you like reverse harem? Not really. Harem's not my genre of choice in general. It's just not really what I'm into. Nothing against it. It just doesn't really talk to me like some other anime does. What's your all-time favorite anime? Easy answer for me, One Piece, without a doubt. I'm not going to go out and try and say that it's the best anime ever made. I know it's got its problems, especially in the early years. It's kind of hard to go back to and watch that early stuff again unless you have like a Blu-ray copy of it because it just doesn't look that good. It's dated a lot. But One Piece is good. I always go back to it. I love One Piece. It's tried and true. I mean, I'll never turn my back on it. It's really good, and you should watch it. How come you don't cosplay at cons? I'm guessing it's because you record, but yeah. That's actually exactly why I don't cosplay at cons. It's hard for me, guys, because I use a glide cam, so I have to use two hands. That's how you run those things. And I'm using a DSLR. There's a lot more that goes into using a DSLR than using a point-and-shoot camera. So it's not as easy as it might seem for me to be able to cosplay and do video. I know there are some YouTubers who do video and cosplay. A lot of them use point-and-shoot cameras. I'm not going to call people out because that's fine. You don't have to be using a DSLR. You don't have to be using some huge camera. That's not a requirement, I don't think, by any means. But I'm just saying that there's a lot less that they have to focus on that's going on in their hands at one time. So because of that, I can't use a prop, first of all. Second of all, if I were to cosplay, I'd have to buy it, which is okay. But I don't have the money. I put a lot of my money into getting equipment to do these videos for cons. And the other thing is I don't have the time to make them because I put so much time. I can't stress to you guys how much time I put into convention reviews. Like, one video, this video alone, is probably going to take me like 2 hours. And this is just me talking to a camera. Because I got to make it, and then I got to edit it, upload it. I've actually had a few problems with this. You maybe noticed some jump cuts in this video. So things don't always go as you want, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes, a lot of writing. Every video you see has been written out, most of them. And this one obviously isn't because it's supposed to be more personal like this. But so I just don't have the time. Not with doing this channel, and I'm not going to say that I will never cosplay at a con. I'm not going to say that because I would love to. It's just right now, it's not something that I can really do. Expect that it's possible. You know, never say never. Just like I said with when I was talking about Katie, never say never. But it's not very likely. I would say cosplaying is more likely than that. But I'm sure I will cosplay. I'll tell you right now, I will cosplay eventually. How much? I don't know. How big the cosplay? I don't know. Probably not that big. I have to have my hands. So, yeah. that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this Q&A Wednesday. I'll see you on Saturday when a new video comes out. Just a little hint, it's going to be another rant, and then I'll probably get back to story times the next week. I'm doing videos every Saturday now, if you haven't noticed, until Anime Milwaukee comes and F's that schedule all up. But until then, video every Saturday, and on Wednesday, these Q&As. So put in your questions below. Could become the topic for the show, or if not, I'll probably answer it in my quick answers if it's not already been asked. So if you ask something and I don't answer it, assume that it's already been asked and I just haven't answered it in the video yet. I want to answer the first person that asks because they jumped on it. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really does help a lot. Please do that and tell people about the channel. Share out the videos that I make. Maybe not this one because they don't know who the crew are, so I don't know why they'd need to see it. But share out the videos that I make. It helps so much, guys, and I really appreciate all of you guys subscribing. I want to let you guys know that I really appreciate you. I appreciate you're subscribed. I appreciate that you watch these videos, especially these ones like this that are, you know, they're not even anything super interesting. It's just me talking to a camera. So I just want to let you know, guys, know that I do think about you guys. I do appreciate you, and I do read every single comment. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.